Code of Conduct for Trustees. When a person agrees to become a board member of Cork Deaf Association, they must read and sign the Code of Conduct for Trustees. When this policy is signed, the board member agrees to the following responsibilities. General behaviour. Board members must behave honestly and use good judgment in their work with CDA. This includes using professional advice when needed. Board members should behave in ways that are in the best interests of CDA at all times. Independence. Board members must behave independently, especially if they are making decisions about important issues for CDA. For example, money, property, legal responsibilities. Board members should always behave with honesty. They should not do anything that damages CDA's reputation or the reputation of CDA employees and volunteers. For example, board members should not allow themselves to be in a situation where they owe money or favours to a person or organisation outside of CDA that might try to influence their behaviour as a board member of CDA. Board members should not behave inappropriately or appear to behave inappropriately. Board members must not do or say anything to try to get money, rewards, or favours for themselves or people connected to them, for example, their family, friends, or any organisation they work with. Board members should avoid accepting gifts, rewards, or favours that other people might think can influence their behaviour as a CDA board member. They should tell the rest of the board if they receive any gifts or rewards as a board member of CDA. These gifts or rewards cannot be a higher worth than whatever the board agrees. Board member roles. Board members should understand and carry out their roles and responsibilities as board members to the best of their abilities at all times. Be prepared to give time and commitment to CDA. Be well prepared for meetings and participate in committees and special events when required. Guidelines for board meetings. Board members should go to all board meetings, participate in board meetings in a positive and helpful way, allow others to speak, and do not take over the meetings themselves. Always respect the authority of the chairperson of the board or whoever is chairing any other meeting of the board. Be fair and open-minded. Have a good balance between speaking and listening. Treat other people with respect, even when they have different views. Make sure that all decisions are made for the good of CDA. Give their own opinions. It's important that there are lots of different views discussed at the meetings. Remember that all board members share responsibility for board decisions. Make sure that they speak in a way that is thoughtful and not biased. Volunteers, employees within the charity. Board members should help and support employees and volunteers. Behave in a way that is a good example to staff and volunteers. Behave fairly and respectfully to staff and volunteers. Respect differences. Respect everyone's role and respect role boundaries. Build a good relationship with staff and volunteers. Respect any work arrangements made by the manager. Avoid weakening the position of the manager by interfering with those arrangements. Remember that any issues with staff or volunteers should be passed on to the manager to deal with. Legal requirements and policies. Board members must follow the rules of the CDA Constitution at all times. Make sure that the CDA obeys any laws that should be obeyed. For example, anything to do with company law, health and safety, employment law, and data protection law. Be confidential. However, the board member may need to break confidentiality if any issue comes up that should be reported to the HSE, charity regulator, Gardaí, or any other legal organisation. Keep a conflict of interest or loyalties policy and make sure that it is always completed and updated. All board members should follow the conflict of interest policy or loyalties policy. Follow any policies agreed by the board. For example, policies on equality, diversity, safeguarding, health and safety, bullying, and harassment policies. Follow any policies about board member out-of-pocket expenses. If a board member breaks the rules of the Code of Conduct, they will be asked to meet with the chairperson of the board to discuss if they should remain on the board. If they keep breaking the rules of the Code of Conduct, the chairperson may end their time as board member. The board should review the Code of Conduct every 3 years or as often as the board thinks is appropriate.